we do in life echoes in eternity.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is James Gonzalez. I am a registered nurse, licensed massage therapist, and this is my podcast, and my guest is Tiffany.
Hey, y'all.
So, Tiffany, tell us more about you. Like, what's your background?
I was a military brat. My mother was in the Army, so we moved around country to country, state to state. Finally settled down in El Paso. I got my bachelor's degree of science in kinesiology. Went to law enforcement from there, border patrol, and then corrections. Started my fitness journey, just working out, boxing, wrestling, sports, things of that nature. Got into personal training, and then started competing in women's physique in 2016, and just never looked back from there.
Oh, shit. Okay. So, what is the biggest hurdle when it comes to women in the gym setting?
Probably knowledge, know-how, just information. A lot of us, we go to the gym and, we're looking at machines and how to use them. We're using Instagram. We're using, outside sources to get our fitness information. And it shouldn't be that way.
How should it be?
Personal training, reaching out to experts, whether that's nutrition, whether that's working out, strength training, whether it's cardio. Reach out to somebody that has more knowledge than you. And don't be afraid. Yes, it may, pay a pretty penny, but it'll all be worth it.
How did you learn most things you learned? Like what gave you the best knowledge?
I'm going to say my coach.
Okay.
Coach is just other people that I've encountered with. My first training partner was a male. So I wanted to be strong like him. He had a set of legs that was amazing. So I was like, that's what I want right there. No other females would really interact with me. I wasn't, those cardio bunnies. I wasn't looking for glutes and booty so much. I was looking to be strong. I was looking to be ripped. I was looking to be shredded. I was looking to be really, really muscular. So he embodied that, and I went after it.
That's cool. A lot of respect. I love working out with you, and it's just been an amazing journey. I love your energy.
Thank you.
But when's the last time you competed?
I'm going to say before COVID.
Okay.
Before COVID hit.
And why haven't you competed again?
I honestly don't know. I just think life got in the way.
Okay.
Life and jobs and work. It took over family, kids, things of that nature. So.
Okay, cool. So, with you being a coach and you're training all these people, what do you think is a thing that affects the most of your clients? Like, what do they struggle with the most?
Nutrition.
Okay.
Nutrition, maybe cardio, but more nutrition, big time.
Okay. What is their struggles on when it comes to nutrition? Is it like certain things is it like their family?
I had a few clients today say, with the kids and everything, they just put themselves last. So in order to do that, you got to really encourage them. Like, hey, your health is worth it. Because right now it's not about even competing. It's just about longevity of life. You know what I'm saying? Being able to live to see grandkids and things of that nature. Spend time with friends and family. Because we just don't know. Time is one thing we'll never get back. So
True. So I guess with you talking about families and stuff, Americans are on the increase of obesity, and then children obesity is on the rise. So why do you think that those things are happening right now?
Knowledge, information, laziness. Nutrition plays a big role because with family, you're just going to eat what's provided. Of course, to go outside that realm, to meal prep, to do that, mom's not going to cook an extra chicken breast when you have pizza there. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really, if you decide to take your nutrition to the next level or just be healthy, if your family, you're not getting that support and you have to go outside of that, that's where I think the problem lies.
Do you think money has a huge...
Of course. Yeah, you can go to these fast food places and get a meal for $5 to $10, but a salad costs $15. So.
Do you have any good tips for someone to save money, like a family? Like, what are some good tips?
What I do with my family, we shop in bulk.
Okay.
We do meal prep. If we have to buy a meal prep, we will. That's if we're on the go and we really can't have time to prepare. But it's really about sitting down and actually figuring out where this is going to fit in your schedule. Can I wake up half an hour early to make breakfast, to make my meals? Can I use the food I had last night and meal prep so I can be ready for the next day? It's all about putting yourself as a priority first. I think as you get into a family, that disappears because it's no longer about you. It's about everybody else. So to really take your nutrition and fitness to the next level, you kind of have to be a little selfish.
But in turn, that will help the kids out. And so it's kind of the barrier you're seeing is they're trying to help their kids, but in a way, like, they're hurting themselves, and that's going to hurt their kids later on in life.
Right. And it's just about finding the information. Like, back in the day, could my mother teach me about nutrition? No, she was born in 1958. When I started competing, that's when she saw a need to, okay, we need to change my diet. She was also diabetic, cancer, things of that nature. And had we entered that realm sooner, it probably could have saved her life.
What was the typical meals that caused you? Is there any foods that you think didn't help her and then made her type 2 diabetic and all that stuff?
With all the information, people are saying soda. People are saying, different kinds of water. It just depends. I think after getting, a thorough checkup, you could maybe find out blood work, things of that nature, because it'll affect everyone differently. But I think a lot of processed foods in general, that just is not very good. But I think all of that, her drinking, smoking, that also had an effect. So.
Yeah, it seems like your mom was doing a lot of things, but
Yes, she was.
So.
James, can you just go a little bit? I don't know, because when you go like this, I can see your belly a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not saying that you're fat or anything like that.
Is this better?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's so much better.
Okay, so
It's okay.
I guess it's
you
good.
were looking better the other way.
Was I? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I did that last time.
I am James.
I did that last time.
Everybody got it.
So sorry.
I think it's like a daily thing, which we.
Yeah, it's like when you it's the way that you're welcome to hear. So don't worry.
He's like, now you're part of the team. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So one of the things I want to talk about, I think that there's a new craze, and I brought this up to you earlier, is the Barbie Botox craze, and it's hitting El Paso, which is kind of a scary thing. So what do you think of the Barbie Botox craze? Oh, wait. Barbie Botox is where they inject Botox into women's shoulders so they can get smaller and just look like a Barbie doll, which. Your take.
I'm totally like that. To each their own, right? We're just gonna start there. I will say, I don't think it's healthy. However, society has an image, and with each culture, each society, it'll all change. It's changed from the 1920s to now, and society dictates what's attractive, right? Me, myself, I'm not attractive to certain men or certain women, however it'll go. But my point is, how do you feel? And the Barbie Botox to deplete muscle or anything of that nature, to get rid of things to fit a certain standard, people are going to continue to do that, whether it's Botox, fillers with the lips or the cheeks or anything like that. Anything from tattoos, piercings, anything to make themselves feel more attractive. But the depletion of muscle, no, I'm totally against that. Not at all. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think, what is it that they're trying to achieve? I know you're like, Barbie, okay, I get it, but it depends who they're trying to attract. What are we doing it for?
And I think it's a weird thing because I love women with big traps.
Awesome.
So
yeah,
it's kind of weird. I'm like, I mean, that's not a factor. I'm like, I would rather have an athletic woman.
Right.
Like if she has some traps, I'm like, she probably can deadlift more than my ass.
Right.
She can at least push me in the gym.
Something. But it's not going to stop there, James.
And so it's just, I've noticed there's the anti-fitness trending,
right,
where if you're fit, you're not cool.
Right. Right. No, yeah, and it was the other way around before. People talk about fat shaming. Now people are talking about fit shaming. And it's like, no one should be shaming anybody, right? You see someone in the gym, they're working hard, they're at a certain weight. Maybe they started their journey a little later. Maybe, they're on a different path than you. But as far as purposely going to get rid of the way you naturally look, the BBLs and all this stuff, it's like your body is naturally beautiful the way it is. So do things to enhance that. But medically, it's just, I don't know. It seems a little backward against the grain for me.
Yeah, I can see that, and I just see the way women are and fitness is going in that realm, and you have two circle, it seems to be going more towards cardio bunnies.
Yes.
And you need to do a lot of cardio,
right,
where it's there's nothing wrong with the cardio bunnies, and I think there's a place, but we also need to embrace and love and say that's beautiful as well. I think there's this negative thing towards women and with muscle.
Yes.
You know, like with me, like I'm at work sometimes and people are like, are you natural? I'm like, well, I'm at work, you know, this is something, you know, personal place. And,
right.
you know, with women, it's, you know, there's, the guys are, I think, are so insecure that they're kind of bashing you.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
time.
like, oh, you did this. And I think that's where, like, people will say someone's on PEDS.
Yes.
When they may not be on PEDS.
Right.
And they just worked hard.
Right.
Now, that's that realm. Now, when it comes to PEDS and you've seen people, all these competitors, is there any performance-enhancing drug that you feel is dangerous?
All of them. I mean, we are, what's the word? I can't even think. We are naive if we're going to think a football player can snap his femur and then be back in 3 to 6 weeks, not off of PEDs. Let's stop being unrealistic. That's not what we're paying them for. We're paying them to play. Competitors at a higher level, whatever it is, Olympia level, things of that nature, they are going to require more things because of the dangers involved. Now, as far as PEDs for women and men in general, they're all dangerous. It depends on just how you take them, getting doctor's approval, you know, TRT versus, you know, just injection of testosterone or taking of PEDs. But overall, you're injecting something foreign or taking something foreign into your body sometimes. Other than that, like I said, if you're not competing, if you're not, you know, having a goal that requires you to do it, there's no need. There's no need, in my opinion.
You've been working out and doing all these things. So as you started, how has your diet and your training changed?
Oh, big time. From being an athlete, I never had to worry about weight. Being in boxing, yes, I had to make a certain weight. Wrestling, you have to make a certain weight. But my metabolism was so high, I could make it just walking. I didn't have to do any of the extra stuff to make a certain weight for my sports. Basketball, it's not required. As I got into bodybuilding, that was probably one of the most hardest sports I've ever been in as far as focus, concentration, and really maintaining my look and diet. I didn't have to worry about what I was eating. Even now that I'm almost 40, I still have to worry about what I'm eating, what I'm ingesting, especially if I want to continue competing. Can I eat pizza and ice cream? I can, and my metabolism will work fine. Will I be healthy? No. Could I compete at that level? You might, James. I cannot. I cannot. But you realize that just being healthy is going to involve a number of factors, and nutrition is one of the biggest ones. You can't outwork a shitty diet.
That's really good. So when it comes down to weight loss, I think like most of your clients feel cardio is the key.
Yes.
And is that like a pretty common thing?
It's a general idea. Yes.
What do you feel?
No.
When it comes to like women and PEDs and all that stuff, I think there's that negative thing where like, you know, I think even El Paso, there's that thing where like men don't want their girls to work out or they don't want them to get too muscular or too strong.
Yes.
And it's kind of just a weird thing. I just think women, you know, that are in shape are beautiful. You know, like,
thank you.
I mean, in like everything, like, I think health is beauty.
Yes.
You know, if you're a healthy person, you'll look beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, inside and out, because it even affects your mind as well. So, have you seen people, like, when it comes to training and all that stuff, you have all these people that are, like, trying to compete and all that stuff. Like, how do you think that you have these wellness categories? Like, what do you feel on those things?
Wellness is very popular. It's become very popular, just like bikini was. When they took women's physique out of the Arnold, I was very upset. But it just reinforced the connotation that women with muscle are ugly. You know, you look at ladies like Iris, Kyle, and I can't name all the rest of them, and I forgive myself for that, because there's numerous women, you know, Linda Murray for one. That, I mean, these women have made leaps and bounds of what I can only imagine to be as far as women with muscularity. And we women equate protection with muscle, right? If you are heterosexual, you're going to equate protection with muscle from a man. So if you see that in a woman compared to a man, you're kind of like, hopefully the guy she's dating is bigger than her. But yeah, you do get that negative connotation, and it kind of makes you feel like, where do I fit in? Where do I belong? Because if I was in California, New York, Dallas, Vegas, nobody would look at me. I'd be the bottom of the barrel over there. These women are immaculate as far as muscularity. I mean, you talk about traps and calves and legs, like, they're the pinnacle of it. You come to a smaller city like here, and you're looked at as disgusting. You know what I mean? And it has to do a lot with a lot of cultural ideals. It has to do with a lot of mental ideals as well. And it's just, how do we get over that? You know what I'm saying? By throwing it in their face, I'm not going to stop my journey. For a while I did. I was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't work out. Maybe I should just be normal per se, the normal woman, don't have muscle. But that doesn't work for me. I'm too much in the game, too far in the game where I'm not going back.
There's women out there that are affected by El Paso culture. And I think that we could be like New York and like all those places, but it's the male influence on these women that is basically pushing them down.
Oh yeah.
And so basically you're in El Paso, we just need to be more loving towards muscular women.
Right.
I mean, I get hate just because I'm I work out a little, and then, but with you, it's like that sucks.
Right.
Because, you know, and I see there's a lot of bias. Like, you know,
yes.
I feel women competing in NPC is the hardest thing because as a guy, I don't have to worry about what color my trunks are.
Right.
What color my hair is. You know, how big my boobs are.
Yes. No,
and those are factors. Is there any other factors that when you're competing?
No, that's it. Hair. I mean, we mentioned the judges. The young lady I'm dating, Miss Rosario Romero, she's a IFBB figure pro. Mm-hmm. So she obviously going through numerous competitions to become pro. She's informed how much political it is. And, you know, going through, you know, the people that I've trained, and I'm like, yeah, it really is. For women more often than men. Why? Because we assume beauty is a certain color. Beauty has a certain hair texture or color, eye color. You may like the color pink on a female. So if you see bikini girls all coming out in pink, you're going to be like, wow, compared to a color, let's say you didn't like, let's say green. So a female comes out and you're a judge, you may not look twice at the girl in the green bikini. Is it right? No. You should you should just go based on physique only. But somehow it's not like that. I was able to get first in a couple competitions. I didn't win overall and won because of the girl that was there. She was the beach blonde. You know what I'm saying? Totally had my pictures, my reviews, and I asked for help, which obviously competitors, you definitely should do. Talk to the judges after, get their feedback, talk with them back and forth so they can see a face-to-face. And again, that was advice from my girlfriend, Rosario. But yeah, it is very, very important. Why? Because they can put a face to the name and you can understand how and why it's political. Now, do you have to do that, James? No. Is it important that you should ask for feedback? Yes. But are they going to care what color your trunks are? Like you said, no. How your hair is? Now, maybe you have a female judge that may like clean shaven, but that's as far as it's going to go. Tattoos is another thing. For guys, may or may not. For women, totally no. It's not attractive. So me being in full tattoos, because I got, about 14 of them, they may not look at me because I'm just have tattoos and I'm not what they feel or fit as for that division. So it really is political, and it shouldn't be. It should be just you bring the best physique to the show, period. But that's why they did away with women's physique. That's why women's bodybuilding is no longer in function, and we have Wings of Strength now. So it's kind of sad to see like the diminishing of women with muscle just being in a negative again connotation. Yeah.
I mean, like I looked at the Olympia and like all the bikini winners are all blonde hair, and I was like, oh,
how funny.
That's a weird, and they were all wearing red bikinis, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, and I think one girl was wearing blue. I was like, oh man.
Right.
I don't know, maybe it was just the picture I looked at, and I was like, that is a weird coincidence. So.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, culture's different. New York the East Coast may want people more shredded. West Coast is all about bigness, so they may want, but to even have to research that and be like, Jesus Christ, I have to research the judges and see where I'm at and know the city and blah, blah, blah. It's too much. It's too much. No other team has to do that. You don't see Dallas wondering how Arizona's going to feel. No.
So when it comes to like PEDs and women, like with men, it's just kind of like bro science. Like, yeah. Oh, my boy did this and you should try this. I think this works. And I think with women, they're very secretive.
Yeah, of course.
And so I don't think they say what they're really going through.
Right.
And I think there's so much secrets when it comes to PEDs, yes, women in fitness. Because I think some of them take more.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just don't say anything. And I think that's where it comes down to education.
Yes.
So and then these coaches are like treating these women like men, and it's just like, so what kind of stories or horror stories do you hear from like men teaching women?
Yes. I mean, if you happen to find a woman that is open, and I was lucky to find my first real coach, Susan Salazar, who's amazing now. She has a Orange County strength gym, which she runs in California now. Amazing. She was one of my first ones to introduce me to PEDs and just the effects. Now, what I started with before with a man, it was just take half of what I'm taking. Take half of what I'm taking. There's really no research that has gone into women, the effects, this and that. You have to find a nurse, a doctor, somebody that's a little more knowledgeable, that's willing to run the blood test, that's willing to go through it with you, because you just don't know. I can't take a third of what you're taking. That would be ridiculous. And to have someone just not put any effort into it, and then they wonder why women end up with all these medical issues and problems later in life because it affects us different. No way is PEDs going to affect me the way it affects you.
So when you get your blood work, you have to find a particular special doctor that's willing to even let you test?
Yeah, I mean, you can get blood work anywhere, right? But specifically a doctor that would know more about PEDs, or at least, because a blood work, like you said, is not going to tell you everything. But you need someone that has the research, the knowledge, like, hey, these drugs affect women this way. How do I know? Because of X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? And that's what we're looking for, knowledge, because if we want to continue in this sport, eventually we either are going to be on PEDs or at least going to attempt to try. So the best way to combat that is to at least either do your own research and honestly just ask around. Ask people, talk to doctors, talk to nurses, get health professionals that can help you with what you're doing.
But since I'm a health professional, so like I don't, like most doctors and nurses in El Paso don't really study this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And I would, there's probably one or two doctors that I know that can really talk about this kind of things. Mm-hmm. So I think, and I've heard it from a couple of my guy friends, and it's probably worse for females. Like they'll just be like, get off everything, and then they crash and they go into grim-aging, crazy depression, and they're like, oh, my doctor told me. It's like, yeah, but there's that transition. You wouldn't. I mean, you just don't get off all these things. Right. And sometimes you already have been at that point where you shut down your natural testosterone, or all these, and you've been messing things up, so then you just crash.
Yeah.
So when it comes to doctors and health, do you find that they're very, how do you find these doctors? That's
some not knowledgeable. Like you really honestly have to do your own research, finding a doctor that specializes in that. Because I mean, even taking creatine for too long, liver, kidney damage. So eventually, yes, everyone has to get off of PEDs, but there's a special way how. So.